Welcome back to the channel. Today, you guys, I'm going to show you how to make these adorable toddler pumpkin pom-pom leg warmers. You're going to need a weight for acrylic yarn of your main color choice, and then orange for the pumpkin, and a 4.5 millimeter hook. You're going to get started by making a slip knot, and then we're going to chain 45. Once you have your 45 chains, you're going to skip the first, and into the second, we're going to half double crochet in every chain to the end. You should have 44 half double crochet. Once you have your 44 half double crochet, you're going to chain one, turn your work, and now moving forward, you're going to half double crochet into the back loop only, one half double crochet in every stitch all the way to the end. And you're going to do this for 24 rows. Once you have your 24 rows of your half double crochet, you're going to fold it in half. And then you're going to grab a yarn needle and cut a long yarn length so that you can sew back and forth with your yarn needle. I'm sewing in the back loops only, but it doesn't make a huge difference. You can sew between both loops if you like. This is what it looks like when you finish sewing it all the way through. Then you're just going to tie a knot at the end and then weave in your ends. Once that's nice and secure, you're going to cut that extra yarn. You're going to flip it inside out, and this is the base of your leg warmer. Now I'm going to show you guys how to make the cute little mini pumpkin pom-poms. You're going to need a weight for orange acrylic yarn. You're going to start with a slip knot, and we're going to chain 6, plus 1 for that skipping chain. And then into the second chain, you're just going to do 6 half double crochet all the way to the end. And then when you get there, you're just going to chain 1, turn your work, apparently I want you guys to sit through all 6. Chain 1, turn your work, and then into the back loops only. You're going to half double crochet all the way to the end. You should still have 6 half double crochet, and you're going to do that for 6 rows. Once you have your 6 rows, you're going to cut off a long enough tail so you can weave it in. We're going to pull that yarn out, grab our needle, fold it in half, and we're just going to sew back and forth until we close up our little pumpkin. Again, I'm going back and forth through the back loops, but you can go through both of them if you like. Once you finish, it should look something like this. Boop, boop. Then you're going to tie these 2 pieces together. Then with one of your strands of yarn, you're just going to sew back and forth in and out about 6 or 7 times, just like you would do a magic ring. And then at the end, you're going to pull tight until it closes your ring. Just like that. Then you're going to push that yarn through the middle, as well as your second piece of yarn. You're going to use your needle, and you're just going to weave that in right through the middle to the other side. Just like that. Very simple. Then you're going to grab some stuffing. I grabbed this from a pillow, and you're going to stuff this pretty firmly until you have a little tiny ball. And you can kind of play around with this, kind of smush it around and form it until it's the circle that you desire. Then you're going to take one strand and just weave that through the end so it's out of your way. And then with the other strand, we're going to do like we did for the bottom and go back and forth sewing it until we can close the hole. So we're just going to weave back and forth around 6 or 7 times. Just like that until you can pull it tight. And you have a little round pumpkin, a little mini pumpkin. Then you're going to push that through and weave in your ends, smush it around it to make it a perfect little pumpkin circle. Cut the yarn, and there you have it. Now I'm going to show you guys how I make the cute little stem. I used a green weight 4 acrylic yarn. You can use brown if you like. We're going to start with a slip knot and chain 4. Once you chain 4, you're going to cut a long enough piece of yarn so you can sew it in. Pull it through, and you're going to fold this in half. And this is how we're going to place it into the mini pumpkin with our needle. So we're going to grab one side of the yarn, and using our needle, we're going to choose which side we want to be the top, and you're just going to weave that needle through the bottom, pull it through till it reaches the chains. Then you're going to grab your other yarn side and pull that through until it creates this little loop. And this is what we're going to use to attach it to our vine string. I'm going to make 2 of these, and now I'm going to show you how to make the vine. You're just going to chain 100. Once you have 100, you're going to leave 2 long enough yarn ends so we can weave it in the pumpkins. Once you have those pieces, you're going to get your yarn needle, and you're just going to weave in and out, skipping about 3 or 4 rows of a section in between, and just weave back and forth that vine that we just made. Kind of trying our best to space it evenly. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just as long as when we end close enough to the first yarn piece so it's not too far apart when we make the little bow. Just like this. And then I'm going to place my last one fairly close to the first one, just like this. And there we have it. Perfect. Now we're going to attach the vine to the pumpkins. You're going to get your pumpkin and your needle, and you're just going to dart it right through that loop that we made for our pumpkin stem. And you're going to secure it with a knot through your vine. You can secure it however you like. Just attach it. And you're going to attach your second pumpkin. Really simple, really easy, but super cute and adorable. Once you have all of that secure and your ends are weaved in, you're going to make sure it's pretty secure because this is for my toddler. I'm going to make sure she doesn't pull this off. And there we have it. And I'm just going to tie a little tie, and it's done, guys. Make sure you guys follow me on social media to see the full look.